New complications for the Trump administration. CBS News has confirmed the president's nominee for Secretary of the Navy may have failed to disclose his contract with Cambridge Analytica. Documents suggest Kenneth Braithwaite, the U.S. ambassador to Norway currently, worked for the political consulting firm back in 2016. More on this, let's bring in CBS News investigative reporter Graham Cates. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
So, according to the documents that you were given, Kenneth Braithwaite worked for Cambridge Analytica as a consultant. What exactly did he do?
Sure. These documents are a list of people who had what are called referral partnership agreements with Cambridge Analytica. And what this meant was you had the ability to say, I'm representing the company, and I'm kind of like a salesman pitching what they can offer for you, a government agency, a political campaign, a corporation. And if you bring in that contract, you get a cut. In this case, the document suggests that cut would have been 5% of the contract. And it's worth noting, we don't know if he ever actually successfully did any of that, but he is on this list of people who had this position.
So a lot of people watching this are going to say, okay, great, he worked for Cambridge Analytica. Why does that matter? Explain to our audience the controversy surrounding this company.
The documents depict the length of time that he worked there and the dates, and they lead right up to when he was nominated to be ambassador to Norway, but no agreement is mentioned on his financial disclosure that was given to the Senate, and it's a violation of federal law to withhold that type of information. Now, it's important to note, we reached out to him, and he said he never actually reached an agreement with the company. He's saying that actually our information is incorrect. He signed a non-disclosure agreement with them while negotiating a job, he said, but never actually did it or did any work for them. And so those are the two sides of it. We have these documents internal to the company that say this guy was employed for us, and he's saying I never agreed to be employed for them.
And so what is Cambridge Analytica accused of having participated in, or what's the controversy around that company?
After he was done working there, or after the time that this involves, it came out that Cambridge Analytica was involved in misappropriating mass amounts of data in order to sow disinformation and target individual voters with that disinformation in the lead-ups to the presidential election in 2016 and the Brexit campaign in 2016. Now, the documents have him beginning to work there or work for the company just about a week before the election. So this wouldn't have been related to that. This would have been about more bringing in contracts to use the capabilities that they have, which were significant.
Right. So, in fact, you know, this stuff that Cambridge Analytica is accused of having done, he wasn't even part of the company then. This happened, he was preparing to sign a contract with them a week before the election. He's saying he never signed it.
Yes. And the important thing is whether or not he did. If he did, he would have been required to disclose that to the Senate. And we know for sure that the Senate would have been interested in that because we reached out to the ranking member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Senator Bob Menendez, who said, now that he knows that that wasn't included, he's going to dig into this and find out if it should have been, because it could have significant repercussions.
All right. How did you get a hold of these documents?
I was given one of them from the Cambridge Analytica whistleblower, Brittany Kaiser. She was the director of business development for the firm. And the other one she actually posted on Twitter. She's been slowly releasing documents that she has actually turned over to the Mueller investigation and to Britain's parliament, so that she said so that the public can kind of see what it is she has about the company. She's releasing them like in batches, folder by folder. And in one of them, I noticed the spreadsheet that had this list of people who had this job, and his name stood out. And so we reached out to her and said, do you have any other supporting information? And she had a separate one that also listed him, also had him being under contract for the same time period and having requested what they call a mutual non-disclosure agreement, which meant that not only could he not talk about his role with the company, but they couldn't talk about him. And she mentioned that wasn't the default for the company. That was some people thought to do that and others didn't.
Okay, so you heard from the ambassador, you got a statement from him, you got a reaction from him, you heard from Senator Bob Menendez. Have you heard from the White House, and where is his nomination at this point?
We reached out to the White House, they didn't respond. At this point, his nomination never even reached the Senate. On November 24th, the president tweeted that he will be nominating him to be Secretary of the Navy, but that has still not yet been formally submitted to the Senate, and we have no idea if this will impact that or not.
All right, Graham Cates, good reporting. Thank you very much.
Thank you.